how did it feel? How did Puffy react when Biggie was killed?
He was distraught, but he was in a daze, like, because I don't think that he thought it could happen. Because I told him before we left, that we go to this party, somebody gonna die tonight, bro. I got a phone call. I got a phone call by 3 credible sources. You understand? Right. Chaz Williams over Black Hands, part of the Guerrilla Black Mafia. Unique from Mecca Audio. And the dude that was running with Jodeci and them. Now, if people tell you they're not going to a party, and it's supposed to be the lit party of the century, you see Mace didn't show up at the party. Because he knew something too.
Yeah, so Puff Daddy, he put a hit.
Well, maybe. Have you ever heard that on the recording?
Maybe, okay, here's the thing, right? Maybe he didn't directly say, yo, put a hit out on Tupac and Suge, but he did make comments about it. Maybe he wasn't serious about it, but he did when he was around you, saying that, yo, I'll put $1 million if somebody can handle Tupac and Suge. Even if he wasn't serious about it, but he did say that around you.
It was floating in the air. I'll just say that. Yeah.
So before we get off of that, you and Puffy was hanging out one day, and he wasn't serious about it, but it was floating in the air. He made a comment.
You're just going to keep on trying to get that. I keep saying it was floating in the air, dog.
Okay, gotcha.
Let's move past that.
Okay, so the 1996 Soul Train Awards, was you there?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I never pulled no gun on nobody. I wasn't even with Biggie and them. I said it, I had some tickets for my little scapper dude, me and my homie Win. We wasn't never with Puff and them. I never pulled no gun on them dudes. If I pull a gun on you, motherfucker, you would have been dead. You know what I'm saying? That's just a lot.
Because the people out in California, when Mace went to basketball game, they told him, we want Puff and we want Big. See, everybody do all these investigations and everything like that, and they don't listen to the people who were there. Like I said before, there were people who wanted Big dead, and there were people who wanted Puff dead. You get it?
Right.
The people that wanted Puff dead, you understand, I thought it was a dude from the Nation of Islam that we got into it at Soul Train, right? The people that thought they had something to do with Big Jake dying, which they didn't. That was a part of Death Row or the Bloods. Then you got the guys that Big, what was called the Dog Pound, the guys with the Dog Pound when Big was out there. He was in New York, and the Dog Pound was in New York doing a video.
He courted that. That's what he wanted.
Good story about that song. Mm-hmm. That song was actually written for J-Lo. I didn't write I Love You. I think I arranged it and kind of, did my little harmony stuff but it was written for J-Lo. And
wait, you wrote it for J-Lo?
No, it was written already. This was on my last album on Bad Boy, Faithfully. Okay. And, it was one of the songs that, Puff kind of gave me that was mostly written. I may have wrote a section on it, but it was for the most part already written. Mm-hmm. And it was for J-Lo. I don't know what happened. I don't know if this was like after they wasn't together or I don't know.
Oh, he's being petty.
But I heard the demo, and to be quite honest,
petty. Just throw it out there. He's being petty. They broke up. He said, "Let me get my record back."
Well, no, I don't know. Her voice wasn't on it. I just know that it was original because when I heard the demo, I could totally hear it. I could hear it as a J-Lo record. You know what I mean? It's a pretty even though it's one of my more popular records, and like a lot of the 35 and under dudes that be trying to holler at me, I'm like, how the hell you know about me? They be like, I love that I Love You video.
Solve your business pain points.
You know what I'm saying? I'm from the old school, homie. You pull a gun, you use it. You know what I'm saying? That was a bunch of bullshit, man. I swear to God, that shit was fabricated. He made it out to what he wanted it to be, what his perception or his vision of what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, Reggie Wright even said that he remembered you pulling out a gun.
And then one of their guys kind of pulled out a gun. Gene said who the guy was. I could have sworn it was Keefy D. I always said it was Keefy D.
I never, man, I ain't pull out no fucking gun.
Today and said, yo, New York, y'all let the dog pond be in Red Hook and do a video. So now they want Big Head. Yeah. That they video shoot got shot up, bruh. Them bullets ain't have no names on it.
That's a Snoop Dogg video with Dog Pound in New York, New York.
Right. So you understand what I'm saying? All those people and the people who love Pac, when Pac came up there, they thought Big and them may have had something to do with that or whatever. So that's 5 different fractions of people that may wanted somebody dead in Bad Boy. So now you get to this. Puff know what Mace told him. Mace ain't tell Big he had that conversation with Big. But I had a conversation with Big and them about coming around anywhere we go. Don't come to no parties, don't come nowhere. Cause it's like that.
And just cause I don't know the full story, but Mace said he was with Brandy, the singer? Or is this Brandy somebody else?
Mace said he was with Brandy, the singer. I was in a hotel room with Mace, with Brandy.
With Brandy, yeah.
Okay. So if you was hotel room with Brandy, why did you make the statement, Brandy called me trying to get me to go to the party? So was she next door to you? She was next to you, y'all both on y'all cell phones and shit? And she said, yo, Mace, we ought to go to the party. He said, Brandy, I'm not going to the party. If you with her, you got to watch what people say. I'm not saying he wasn't with Brandy at some time, but was he with Brandy after Big got killed or before Big got killed? And this is the biggest party in the industry, the Vibe party, Sex the Soul Train after party.
Someone says Diddy set up Biggie to get killed. What do you say to that?
I actually thought that he put Big in a situation and thought that the individuals who was gonna come to do something to Big would have did something or try to do something to Big. I don't believe, I'm trying not to believe that he had anything to do with Big's death. I think that the people who was trying to kill Puff killed Big.
So after that, some time passes, Puff still lives. Are you shocked that like he still was able to continue to thrive and grow after so much animosity was being presented towards him?
Well, Puff was built for that. You understand? Puff's mother trained him to be a superstar or in the industry, whether it been a model or a dancer or singer or whatever like that, whatever his talent would have been. So for him to come back from there, I think that he had no other reason.
But that was written for J-Lo. So I just I knew it was a hit record. It just was like, I had to definitely lay back, me being so used to singing so soulful. Right. It's a real simple melody. So to be quite honest, it was one of the songs that took a little longer for me to record because I had to kind of lay back and sing it real pretty, just simple and pretty. And I don't know, I'm doing too many, it feels too soulful. I needed to sound just real pretty.
Was there a time you ever had to switch back over to where you've been like, yo, let me just keep a skeleton bunch because, you know, I'm just, because of being overwhelmed?
I can't really, to be quite honest, other than on other people's records where I've been so much produced. You know, very few and far between. Babyface, when he did that single for me. But typically, I kind of produce my own vocals. So.
That's just like Suge pulling out a gun. Come on, homie.
Right.
What I look like pulling out a gun?
So did you see the
I've never seen Puff and them there, nothing at that Soul Train Award. I never seen them. I wasn't backstage or nothing. I was in the audience, sitting next to the fucking Boys and the Man dude, and they ain't even complimented my suit. Brother, you clean as a motherfucker. I sat next to Boys and the Man at that fucking award show.
Gene, let me ask you: are you surprised that we're about to have a trial with Tupac's murder, but Biggie's murder is still unsolved, may go unsolved? Are you surprised with that?
No, I'm not surprised because the LAPD has suppressed all the evidence, and they know who killed Big already, brother. I have not told a lie. When I tell the people that they had the picture of the Muslim, me and Puff in the same picture, you understand? Walking up to Puff van, but they had his face distorted. They know they got those pictures. The FBI agent, Phil Carson, said he saw the same picture. Then when he went back to review it, the picture was gone. See, they didn't know who they was dealing with. They didn't know that I had a memory like a fucking elephant, and I was not gonna forget anything that happened. I wrote that in my second book. Exactly what went down during that interview. You got people around here telling lies. This is the guy he picked. No, I don't. Run the tape. The tape will tell you, they asked me, do any of these guys on this photo look like him? And I said, nah. He said, anybody look close like the guy, something like that on this photo? I said, he looks something like him, but it's not him. That's what I said. Anytime you do a lineup and you point somebody out, what do the cops make you do? They make you initial it or sign under the picture. Correct. That you said that. They seen a circle say, this is the one he picked. No, I didn't. Not one of the detectives who was on that thing said I picked anybody in the lineup. I just said he looks something like him, but it's not him.
Damn. It's crazy because, documentaries come out. I know police have spoken, and it's one of those things to where we might get some, I don't want to say closure, but with Keefe D coming up, that might open up light to Tupac. I'm just curious. We're about to fast forward to what Diddy got going on. Gene, you started talking about, let's say a few years ago, about just your life in the industry. Are you concerned about the feds wanting to come sit down and talk to you about, hey, we need you as a character witness about some situation that may have happened back, during your heyday?
Some situation back during my heyday.
They want to talk to you about things you have seen.
You have to be more specific than you are, sir.
Let's get to it. The feds want to ask you certain questions about what you may have seen, and they want you as a character witness to speak on and testify against Diddy.
To testify against Diddy? Correct. About what?
About anything you may have seen. I mean, well, no, not even testify yet. They want to bring you in for questioning about what you may have seen. Is that a thing?
What I can say to you, sir, is that being an officer myself, they don't bring you in to question you about what you may have seen. They question you about what they already know you have seen.
That's the feds.
And what you say. You know what I'm saying? So it's no way I would know that. You understand? But what I can tell you is that, can Puff be erratic? Yes, he can. You've seen that. Can he be, does he have a monstrous behavior sometime? Yes, he have. You've seen that. You understand? Can he be threatening and abusive? Yes, he can. You've seen that. So, bro, I went on MTV in 99, VH1 in 2001, 2011. Everything that y'all just now hearing, I've been told it to them. I've been said it. They got tapes and they could go back and say, well, he didn't say that, he didn't. They got 5 hours. Y'all getting an hour. They got 5 hours, brother. Do you understand what I'm saying? Both of those places, VH1 and MTV. I was in the Silhouette because I was working still as an officer and I didn't want to lose my job. When Miss Wallace brought me over, Puff told her, I don't know Gene Deal. I told Miss Wallace everything till she was crying and told me to be quiet. She didn't want to hear no more. About the night her son died and what was going down and what I told Puff and what I said to Big, the whole 9 yards, how I pulled him out the car, all that. So bruh, this is nothing new to me. This is just post-traumatic stress that I constantly live through. And I talk about it to get over it and get me through the night. I'm not a drug abuser. I'm not a drug addict. You understand? I'm not an alcoholic. It's a good thing that I found YouTube and I found certain things other than sitting on a couch.
So it's public knowledge that multiple women have come out with accusations of why.
Did you hear that guy Van from what you call that show was on TMZ? He said somebody told him the story about Gene. Wasn't going to take it to TMZ because they was in partnership or Diddy was in power. So he wasn't going to bring it up. Yo, you know how many girls have came to me about other to talk to or somebody to do something about it, but nobody would do it. No, the police wouldn't take it. You understand? Lawyers wouldn't take it. Now lawyers see a paycheck. They taking it. And that's what it's about. Women have always been talking about it.
From a perspective of someone who has been in law enforcement, as well as someone who has participated in bodyguarding or protecting celebrities, what is it about men who are celebrities and abuse? Like, why is that so? Do you feel like it's so common that women are like, hey, these celebrities are abusers, they're sexual assaulters? Why is there such a connection with that in such abundance, do you feel?
If I was to speak on a personal level, which I can only say on a personal level, it has to do with money. You understand? See, they learn, if you notice, those people learn from a different aspect. Remember the song Money, Power, and Respect? They got that money, which they thought they had power and they should have respect. But we learned, if you learn from where I came from, and if you from any hood in America, you got to get the respect first, which give you the power. And somehow you make money. You understand? They got it ass backwards. So they see through a different window. I've seen guys, yo, let me just say, all these guys that y'all see as superstars, they used to beg to jump in the picture. Right. From your Jay-Z, you understand? From your Mace, your camera, they used to jump to be in the picture with everybody. And now they be like, they don't want to be in the picture. They don't want to be seen. Used to have them at the door, begging to get in. Now they send their PAs, they send their publicists, yo, make sure I just walk in. I ain't waiting on no line. That money does a lot of strange things. You ever heard a thing? You'll do a little strange for a little change?
Right.
That's how they go.
Being the background of the law enforcement, right?
Right.
Is Diddy going to jail?
I think that the easiest thing to do is to get somebody on some money laundering. Diddy have over 18 companies that he was dealing with. He put every business in his children's name or his mother's name. I don't think any of those businesses are straight into his name. So there's got to be some shadiness going on somewhere. The government wouldn't ask for all the IRS papers. You understand? All the tax papers for the last 3 years of any of his companies if they didn't think something was going on. You understand? So if he doesn't go for any of the assaults or something like that, I don't know. It may be something having to do with tax evasion, money laundering, or something like that. Or maybe even drugs or something. Because you know they had that guy, Jonathan Odie.
Yep.
You understand? They was talking.
Now, we know that there are men who are abusive to women and treat the opposite sex in a certain manner. But we do know there's a lot of women who look for that quick payday. You got the groupies, you know, they're trying to get the baby, or they're trying to find a way to connect with the artist. Do you think there's a larger percentage of women who are just crying wolf, or do you think more of it is genuine?
I didn't look at it in that perspective. I look at it as that whatever they can prove,
sure,
you understand, is what they're gonna go after. You know, you had a young lady said, this man beat me till I lost my baby. Gina.
Mm-hmm.
She got on Tasha K saying the whole story and nobody believed her.
I have a different question because it's interesting. You're in law enforcement, but I know you also had relationships with certain street dudes. When you're dealing with personalities like that, is there such thing as a good street dude or a bad street dude, or do you view them as the same kind of?
Bruh, I'm a street dude that just went to college, got my degree, got a good job. You understand?
Right.
I could tell you that the light pole was my lamp and the curb was my pillow. But that don't mean I have to do what people who make their living in the street do.
Right.
And you have individuals that'll sit here and have a conversation with you and have fun and joy, and then they'll leave somebody's head on the stoop. You got dudes that'll make that money and hustle hard like he was a 9 to 5, working 12 hours a day, and blow that 50,000 on a chain, a ring, a car, or throwing it up at the strippers. Your character has more to do with how you was raised, who you respect. You understand?
Yeah.
So to say street dudes, I met doctors that were street dudes. I met lawyers that were street dudes.
Now, you're a pretty big guy.